So boys, I would like to explain about these 2 days what I have taught to you once again. First, we are talking about trigonometry. We are trying to define something new, especially about angles. So when we consider there is a rod, for example, the distance is r with a point P, and then for this rod, and then it goes around a center circle O. So the position of a new point is, for example, Q. We have a coordinate xy, and then because it turns clockwise, we have a theta here. This is the positive theta because we turn in this way. Remember, we define the positive side as clockwise, the angle. Otherwise, if it goes like this for another one, for example, we have another point, for example, point R, another rod. It can go another way around, maybe here. Maybe we have another length L, and then we have another point S, maybe MN. And it comes up another angle, let's say theta. Because the direction is different, to be convenient, we define it as a negative theta here. So maybe let's say this theta is around, let's say negative 60, just an example. So after we define a new kind of concept of theta, so we think about, then how can we find sine, cosine, and tangent theta? As the theta is rotation, like. That's why we try to define by using the same thing. I try to put it like this, draw a larger one. That means we have a point Q, xy, and then if you try to draw, that's an angle here, right? Because we talk about the position here is xy, so we try to define, or according to what we have agreed before, if it is 90 degrees, sine theta equals to the y coordinate, very similar to here, y to r, and cosine, point x, x over r, and tangent theta, y over x. However, because we are talking about position, that's why for y and x, remember they are coordinates. Okay, that's why if we try to talk about, for example, we have an angle here from the initial side, and then it goes around maybe to quadrant 3. This is quadrant 3, remember. And then we know, if we know about this, the point, for example, it is a 4, 4 negative. And after calculating the rod here by using Pythagoras, so that means root 33, 32. Now I didn't simplify, but I just trying to do the example for you. So according to what we have learned, by using coordinate with the rod, sine phi, this theta, becomes y coordinate, negative 4, over this length, root 32. Now I didn't simplify, but I just want to do an example. The same thing, x coordinate, negative 4 over the rod, 32, and tangent theta here becomes y over x, which is 1. Okay, this is one of the example. I do another for you. If we talk about, for example, sine 301, remember in a triangle we don't have this angle, but up to now we extend our knowledge, we grow up, okay, so we learn more. We can find sine 315. That's why I try to find, maybe 15 is here, okay. For example, we have 315, and then if we know about the point, for example, here should be maybe around like let's say 3, and x coordinate is 3, and the coordinate here -3. If I would like to find sine, after finding Pythagoras, I know this is 18. So sine theta, according to what we learned, y coordinate over root 18. After simplify, I try to do this for you. Therefore, should be like this. Okay? So it's the example of what we have learned. We have learned only a few things. First, we define a new way to understand about angle with rotation. And then we know